Right. So go ahead and stand all the way up, and then I'm gonna have you stand in the middle of your mat, and then just reach your hands all the way up towards that ceiling. Take another big inhale, and then just exhale, trying to find some extra length there. Take a soft back bend, and then dive those hands all the way down to your mat. Take a big inhale, exhale, reaching 1 inch further towards that mat, and then slowly stack your spine all the way back up to the top. We're gonna do that again. So you're gonna reach your hands up overhead, gaze will come up towards that ceiling, find as much length as you can, and then you'll go ahead and dive your hands all the way back down towards that mat. Take another big inhale, and as you exhale, soften the bend in your knees and reach towards that mat. Hang there nice and heavy for me, and then we're gonna restack everything one vertebrae at a time. Head is the last thing that comes up. Once you get to the top, start giving me some shoulder rolls to the back of that room, lifting up towards your ears and then releasing them down. Big lift up towards your ears, release them down, and then go ahead in that opposite direction. Just rolling out those shoulders here for 3. Good for 2. One more right here, and then I'm going to have you open those feet. Make sure they're about hips width distance apart. Hands will come behind your head. You're going to go into that good morning stretch. So you'll hinge at your hips, bringing your chest down towards that mat, and then we'll lift up with control. So I want you to think about pulling that belly button in, feeling that stretch in the back of your legs. And we're just in that good morning stretch. You're here for another 10 seconds, and then we're going to add in a squat. So you're going to give me one good morning. I'd like you to keep your hands behind your head, and then you'll give me one body weight squat in 5. Stay in the good morning for 4, in 3, good, in 2, and then on 1, add that squat. And so all you're going to do is drop that seat back down, lift all the way up, and then you'll find that good morning. It's meant to be slow. We're just warming up the legs and that upper body. You're here for about 20 more seconds, so don't feel like you have to rush it. Think about a big inhale as you drop that seat down, pressing knees apart, squeezing seat to come back up, and then you find that hinge. You're going to give me 10 more seconds right here for 9, good, and 8. You've got 7 and 6, all the way down, all the way up for 4 and 3. Meet me standing in 2 and back at the top at 1. If you want to put your balas on, you can. You're going to go ahead and turn and step to the left side of your mat for me. Take a big inhale here. We've got a little bit of a squat series to kick it off in that warm up. Once you're here, my friends with bands, it's a quick transition. You're welcome to stick a band above your knees quickly, and then you'll have to really remember to take that off at the end of this shuffle series. So you're going to find that nice deep squat. You're going to take 2 steps to the opposite side of your mat. You get to stand, find that squat again. So we're taking 2 big steps. You should make it all the way to the opposite side of that mat. Then we sink all the way back down. So it's 2 side shuffles to the right. You get to stand and find that squat. Take 2 side shuffles over to that left side. Now, chest has to stay proud. So instead of thinking about looking straight down, I want you to look out almost at that like 3 to 5 feet. So you're looking out in front of you. You're not looking up. Find that angle, but just make sure you're not looking down. Too much weight on that neck. Good. Nice change. Keep moving for me. Now I want you to start ditching that squat. You're just going to take 1 side shuffle to the right and then 1 side shuffle to the left. So instead of taking 2 steps, you're going to stay low. You take 1 step to the left, 1 step to the right. Stay low for me here. Let your legs start to fire up. You've got 10 seconds. You're doing great. If you need to stand and reset, you stand and reset, and then you sink back down right here. You're going to meet me in the center of your mat. You're going to go into your body weight squats only in 5, in 4, good, in 3, hold for me in 2, just a body weight squat right in the center of that mat. Stand all the way up, sink back down. Now you have your arms at the top. Press them long and strong, squeeze your triceps. At the bottom, find that prayer position. So you're standing up in that squat, and then you sink all the way back down. Just a body weight squat right here for me. You have 15 seconds before we stay at the bottom of this. Big lift and squeeze, and then sink down into that squat. You do not have to fire these out. And you can take your time. This is that first series to get legs nice and warm for you. So just make sure you're breathing and you're squeezing that seat. As you come down, your weight should be in your heels. As you lift all the way up, you're squeezing your seat. Press those arms long and strong so you can start squeezing those triceps. I need you to hold at the bottom in 5, lift for 4, good, lower for 3. Final time you stand, now come down low. Hold in your squat. Beautiful. Now take a big inhale. I want you to tap your right foot out. You tap your left foot out. So you're staying low and you're just giving me side taps in those feet. So you're thinking about reaching to that, change it to the back corner. If you were standing in a square here, tap back corner left side, back corner right side. 10 seconds, stay low. You can do this. 8, tap 7. Perfect. You have 6 and 5. If you come up, sink back down. 4, holding for me, and 3, holding for me, and 2. Freeze right here. Just pulse your seat down an inch and up an inch. I know you want to stand. You're going to stand so soon. So I want you to think to yourself, do you have 15 seconds left in you in these pulses? Then you get to stand. 10. Yes, you can. 9. Bring the weight into your heels. Don't let it sneak into your toes. Press knees out. You've got 5 and you stand. 4 and you stand. 3 and 2. Everybody stand all the way up. Hands come back behind your head. You finish in that good morning. Heart rate will come back down. Lift all the way up to the top. And then we lower down with control. 30 seconds in your good mornings. And then you're out of that warm up in that first series. Breathing here for me. What I want you to think about is where you're feeling that in your legs. So a hint of a bend in those knees. Soft bend is okay, but you're hinging at your hips as your chest falls forward. You should feel a really nice stretch in the back of your legs. Just give me 10 more seconds here, and then we'll go into that first series. You've got 8 and 7, perfect. 6 and 5, beautiful. If you had a band on, we'll ditch it in 4 and 3, good. And 2, we'll stand all the way up to the top. And you're gonna grab your light weights for me. Balas can stay on those ankles. Take a big inhale here. We're just going to reset. We are going to go into those arms first. Legs should be nice and warm. When you grab those weights and bring them to your side for me, you're going to take that big inhale one more time. Make sure your feet are about shoulder width distance. Soften the bend in your knees. We're going into that bicep curl here. It's going to feel easy. Weights are going to feel light as we just ease into that first movement. So what I need you to think about is, can you try to pretend like you're pushing and pulling through mud through water as you squeeze tricep at the bottom, bicep at the top? I'm also giving you an opportunity to let your heart rate come back down. 15 seconds in this curl. When you're here, I need you to think shoulders are relaxed. This should feel nice. And just that I'm getting that blood pumping through those arms as we squeeze and release. Elbows stay right next to that rib cage. You're holding weights at the top for me in 8, in 7, good. 6, we're going a little bit faster because they're light. 5 and 4, weights stay at those shoulders. And 3, narrow press. In 2, final bicep curl right here. Turn your palms towards one another. We press overhead, we pull back down. We press overhead, we pull back down. When you're pressing overhead, I don't want your rib cage to move. So what I need you to think about here is that everything stays in nice and tight. You're not expanding and pulling back in. So as you press overhead, you're just using your breath. In 10 seconds, we're going to add that bicep curl back in. So we'll give ourselves a hammer curl into that narrow press in 5. Keep pressing at the top in 4. In 3, 2, on 1, bring that weight back down. You give me 1 hammer curl, you come back up, you go right into your narrow overhead press. Think about the squeeze of your triceps at the bottom. You reach those arms up, you exhale, and then you pull those weights back down. So you don't need to fly through it. Let's be deliberate in that movement. You have 15 seconds here in the combo for me, and then shoulders and biceps, triceps, everything should be awake and ready to work through that rest of the series. You've got 10 and 9. It's 8, keep pressing. 7, make sure knees don't lock out. 6, you've got it. 5, 4 and 3 on 2. Bring those arms back up, extend them out, palms face down. We're going to draw circles towards that midline. We're going to stay in those shoulders for a second. Now, reset right here. Soften the bend in your knees. Let shoulders melt away from your ears. And then you're reaching arms as far as you can in front of you. Belly button is still pulled in. Go ahead and reverse that circle. 8 and 7. Beautiful. 6 and 5. Good. 4 and 3. We hold in 2. On 1, you're going to freeze right here for me. I want you to give me that little bend, extend, hold. Bend and extend, hold. Usually our bend and press is fast. I want bend, extend, squeeze tricep. Bend, extend, squeeze your tricep. Feel it come down the side of your arms while your triceps are getting nice and warm here. You're doing great. In 5 seconds, it's up an inch, down an inch. In 4, good. In 3, in 2, we're going to let arms come down an inch, right back up 1 inch. It's down an inch and up an inch. Really deliberate in this movement. You're usually doing it out in that wide T. So what I want you to think about here as you're reaching those arms, are you still using your core? Is there a soft bend in your knees? 5 seconds right here. 4, good. 3 and 2. On 1, you hold, you open arms out to your T. You give me a bend and press. Arms come right back in. It's slow. We press those arms. We give a little bend and press. We bring them right back in. Yes, you can. Open arms out, bend and press. Can you start to bend and press on the way in? Slow it down for me. Hold, and then you go right back out. So it's a bend and press. We're opening those arms out into that T, and then we're coming right back in. This is where you start to fatigue. You've got 5 seconds here. We're going to go out one more time, come back in one more time. You're doing great. Keep those arms up there. Keep those abs in. Meet me at the top. Palms face each other. We alternate in that hammer curl. It's that seesaw. We press and we pull right here. We press and pull. Yes, you can. Press and pull for 10 and 9. You've got 8 and 7. We're going into that 90-degree angle here in 5, in 4, last 3 and 2. On 1, both arms at 90. Pulse it up 1 inch and down 1 inch. It's up 1 inch and down 1 inch. Fatigue those shoulders. 8 and 7. You have 6 right here. Go 5 and 4. Keep pulsing. 3 and 2. On 1, you hold. We open, squeeze, closed. We open, squeeze, closed, almost out of those shoulders. Open, squeeze, closed. You've got it. 10, 9. It's 8. Don't cheat yourself. 7 and 6. You've got 5, 4. Perfect. 3 and 2. Hold it in on 1. Weights come together here. Start to squeeze arms in. Start to squeeze arms in. You're doing great. Squeeze arms in and up to finish. In and up to finish. Arms get to come down in a second. I need you to fight right here for 10. They should be on fire. Up 1 inch and down 1 inch. Squeeze in and up. Squeeze in and up. Go 6. Yeah, it's 5. Breathe. Abs are in. Knees are bent. It's 4, 3, 2 and 1, all the way down. Now reach those hands down at your side. Give me a big shoulder roll to the back. Shoulders are warm for that tricep series. Reach arms forward. We're going to start in that back and go into those triceps again. I want you to take those hands. They're facing those quads. Reach those arms down like you're headed into that deadlift. Once you are here, palms are going to face each other, soften the bend in your elbows. We're going to go into that wide fly, squeeze your shoulder blades, release down. Exhale, lift. Inhale, slow to lower. I really want these slow. As you give me a softened bend in your knees, we really want to strengthen that upper back. To give you some help here, I want you to think about if there was a pencil in between your shoulder blades, when you open those arms, you want to squeeze, crush, break that pencil. But on your way down, you're slowly coming down. So you're fighting that tension, fighting that momentum to want to just fall down, that gravity, lift, squeeze, and then we lower down with the control. I want you to add a pulse at the top. So you're going to come down an inch, up one more time, then you're going to lower down. Arms look great. Those soft bend in your elbows. Think to yourself, neck is nice and long and strong. Again, as you're hinged forward, you're looking out about 3 feet towards the edge of that mat if you're mid-mat. All the way up, you add that pulse. Stay in your pulse on this next one wherever you are. It's just up an inch and down an inch. Up an inch and down an inch. Yes, you can. Up an inch and down an inch. Think about how strong you are in that back. Knees are still bent. Give me 8 seconds right here. 7 seconds. Arms come back down in 6, in 5. Yes, you can. 4, 3. Keep pulsing. 2, One, release those arms down. Palms are going to face each other. We're going to pull those arms in for the row, give ourselves the kickback, release arms all the way back down. So we pull elbows in, we squeeze at the top, bring them back in, then release them down. It's a very light row here. Again, you've been bent over for a second. You might want to stand. What I need you to think about is big bend in your knees, a nice hinge forward here. As you squeeze elbows to come up, you're still squeezing shoulder blades. Then we squeeze in our triceps as tight as we can. I want you to stay in the kickback after your next row. Stay in the kickback. All you're doing is pressing. Can you give me a 1 second hold at the top and then release? Exhale, press, squeeze as tight as you can, and then release. Let's get triceps warm right here. Extend and squeeze, and then you find that release. You're gonna hold at the top in 3, hold those arms back straight in 2. Now hold them back, turn pinkies towards the ceiling, up an inch and down an inch, up an inch and down an inch. Hinge forward more to get those arms up high. If you need to stand up a little bit and give that back a break, I'm fine with it. But what I need you to think about is your triceps have to be working and squeezing right here. 10 and 9, you've got it. 8 and 7, you're doing great. 6 and a hold, 5 and a hold. You stand after this. In 4, you hold. In 3, in 2, palms face the ceiling again. Just squeeze your triceps. Just squeeze them for me. Hold right here and find your breath. Think about how you're contracting through your core during this isometric hold. 5 seconds, we stand all the way back up. In 4, in 3, beautiful. In 2, on 1, we stand all the way back up to the top here. Couple options for you as we head into that first leg. I know I have Balas on some of you. You are going into a first position. We're going to lift those heels. If that's too much for you and not on your journey today, get your Balas. If not, weights are going to stay in your hands. Your heels are going to come together. Your toes are going to come apart for me. I want you to glue everything together here. To start, those weights are going to come together right in front of you like you're hugging a tree. We're going to go into our heel raises. Lower down with control, lift, squeeze. Lower down with control, lift, squeeze. The weights are just going to help you with balance. If you want a break of those weights and you do not want to keep working shoulders, you're going to ditch them. Hands will either come to prayer or they're going to come to your hips with those weights whenever you need to, or with just that body weight. Up to you. 10 and 9, good. 8 and 7, you have it. 6 and 5, warm those calves up here. For 4 and 3, we stay lifted. In 2, on 1, hold at the top for me. Hold at the top. Yes, you can. From here, I want you to bring those weights down to your thighs. You're going to go on a 2 count down, and arms are going to lift while you do that. So we're going to come down for 2, lift and squeeze with control. We come sliding down that wall. We zip those legs together. The weights are here for balance. You can hold 1, you can keep holding 2, or you can ditch the weights and then you can use body weights, bringing those palms together, or holding your hands as if you're hugging that tree. But I care about your legs here more than I care about your arms. So as you slide down that imaginary wall, I need you to think about those heels staying lifted. When you zip everything up, you are lifting and dropping those arms back down. You've got it. 5 seconds right here. It's down on that 2 count, lifting those arms up on that 2 count. On the next one, I need you to stay low for me. Stay low and controlled. Are your heels lifted? Yes, you can. As you pulse down an inch, you press out an inch. We're talking through it nice and slow. Concentrate on squeezing your heel together. As you drop that seat down an inch, I need you to squeeze heels together. You're squeezing that seat. You're just dropping down an inch and up an inch. And now you're pressing those arms out an inch and in an inch. Full body's going to work here. This is going to trick you and your heart rate's going to start coming up because everything is working. Yes, you can. 8 and 7, hold on to it. 6, yes, you can. Keep squeezing heels. 5 and 4, we've got it. 3 and 2, hold on 1 for me. Heels are going to open apart, come up an inch. Heels are going to reconnect. Here's where your thighs start to burn. Open those heels, reconnect those heels. If it's too much, stay in your hold. If you need to stand and reset, you stand and reset. Arms are out nice and wide. You've got 5, beautiful. 4, 3 and a hold, 2 and a hold. On 1, you open those arms, you squeeze weights back together. You open those arms, you squeeze weights back together. So traditional. Think about what's happening in those thighs, what's happening in your heels. Heels are squeezing. Can anyone sink down one more inch? I'm going to let you stand again in 5, in 4. Yes, you can. 3, weights stay together. In 2, hold those weights together for me. We're going to stand all the way up, sink right back down. Instead of a 2 count, I moved it a little bit faster. It's like that single count. If you need to go slower, you go slower. We're using those arms again to help you in that balance. If it's too much, just keep them in prayer, slide down that imaginary wall, and then come right back up. You're going to meet me in that hold here in 5, in 4, at the bottom in 3. Yes, you can. In 2, hold at the bottom. Arms are going to come up overhead if you have the balance. This is your balance challenge. If not, you keep them at prayer, holding on. I care more about your legs here. I'm just adding on to it to advance it for you. Everyone find that inch that you can sink down. I need you to squeeze your heels together as tight as you can. They're going to lift up a little bit higher because you have that in you. Your knees are pressing out. You have less than 15 seconds in this hold. You're going to stand up and take a break. So you have to fight here for those shakes. Sink into it. Squeeze as tight as you can for 8, for 7. What do you have left for me? Use your breath. Take one more big inhale. Exhale. You're out in 3, 2, 1. Weights come down, heels come down. We stand, we drop those weights to the side. It's a quick transition and it's mean. We're going to open those feet up nice and wide into that second position. Heels will turn in, toes will turn out, no weights. If you have the balls on, I say ditch them, go full body weight right here. If you want that extra challenge and you need it, leave them on. Everyone, that was your break. Hopefully you could take a sip of water. Now take a big inhale here for me. And then on the exhale, arms are going to come out wide, and then we'll stand, swoop those arms in. Arms will come out nice and wide, and then we'll bring those arms back in. You're in that single count, using those arms to just reach in opposition and then dropping them down in front of you. I want you to think about what's happening in the second position. I need your inner thighs to get some love here. When you lift all the way up, you are thinking to yourself, bring the weight into your heels. When you sink down and you're reaching those arms in opposition, I need your seat to come down low, but I want your knees pressing out over your ankles. That's that important piece of it. Yes, everyone looks great. Big reach and lower, and then we lift and we squeeze. We're going to stay at the bottom here in 5. Nice. 4. Yes, there's our pace. 3. Good. Lift 2. Come down, hold on 1. Hold right here. Yes, start to pulse. I'd love arms to stay wide. I know they don't have any weights. If you really would prefer prayer, I'm fine with that, or hands on your hips. This will just fatigue arms a little bit. Even though there's not body weight, we're not pulling from shoulders. We're just reaching and pulsing down right here. We're going to add those arms in 3. Beautiful. And 2, on 1, reset right here. From here, you're going to shift. We reach to that right side. We sit center. We reach left side. So all we're doing with control is pivoting on that opposite foot, and we're turning into that lunge. We come back through center, and then we squeeze. Add that pulse in if you haven't. Now we started slow. We have 15 seconds left in this change. I'd love for you to start picking up the pace if it's available for you to get your heart rate up. If it's not, that's okay. Stay slow and controlled. You pulse center, we pivot right foot to reach left side. We pulse center, we pivot left foot, we to pulse on that right side. Everyone is breathing. You're in that center hold in 6. In 5, nice. 4, relax shoulders. 3, in 2, wherever you are, finish that side, come back through center, hold for me, come back through center, hold. From here, we lift all the way up, arms come up overhead, right back down. All the way up, arms come overhead, feel that reach, and then you come right back down. You're in that second position, full stand right here. It should feel good as we're moving those arms. There's no weights, just working on a little bit of mobility there for me. 10 seconds, lower down, 9. Oh, let me find it. Yep, there it is. 6, lower for 5. Heart rate comes up. 4, you have it. 3, beautiful. 2, everyone meet me at the top on 1. Heels are going to lift. Heels are going to lower. You're in a wider stance right here, so they might not go as high. Heels will lift. Heels will lower. Heels will lift. Heels will lower. I'm going to slow it down right here. I want you to breathe. Bring your hands to prayer for me. Bring your hands to prayer. From here, I want you to hold your heels lifted for me. You're going to sink down into your second position. You're going to lower your heels. You're going to lift your heels. You're going to stand and squeeze here. Beautiful. Lower those heels, sink back down into your second position, lift those heels and extend those legs. It is slow. We haven't done these in ages. It's not meant to be so fast. I want you focused on how high can you lift your heels. It's going to be lower than if we were in a first position just based on how your legs are. But as you extend your legs to stand up nice and tall, can you squeeze through those quads, squeeze those calves? Then we lower those heels, we sink back down. Knees have to stay wide right here. All you have left is a hold. This is almost like an active recovery here, but it should feel good and it's working so many muscles. I need you to breathe for me. In 5 seconds, you have a hold. It's a longer hold, but then you'll be out of your second position. In 4, in 3, good. In 2, everybody hold at the bottom right here. Start with heels down, hands in prayer. Heels down, hands in prayer. Reset if you need to. Check in with your body. Are your shoulders relaxed here? Can you pull belly button in towards your spine? It was a long series, so you're starting to tense up. Your weight is in your heels so toes can wiggle and you can press those knees back. Now everyone's going to sink down 1 more centimeter. The extra challenge for the last 10 seconds, if you want to lift your heels, you lift right heel and you lift that left heel, you hold for me. I'd like all arms to transition up overhead for that little bit of added strength. If your heels are lifted and you need to stay in prayer, that's fine. It's 8 and 7. If you cannot find those shakes, you sink down just that centimeter more. You press those knees out and you breathe and contract for 3, for 2, for 1, heels lower, and then we lift and stand. Take a sip of water. Really nice work. Nice work. We're getting ready to come down to those mats. It's like you've earned it. It's like who didn't want lunges? Now do we want those? I don't know. The best part is I'm going to stand and I'm going to move right to my computer. You're going to come to the back of your mat. You got your first plank. You have 2 planks today. That's it. I'd love for you to walk out into that first plank after you've taken a sip of water, after you've shaken it out. And then you're just going to meet me on that mat in that high plank. I'd love you there in 3, in 2, and in 1. Take that big breath. Really nice work as we went through that first 25 minutes. I want you to think about the strength that you had and what you were working as you're in that first plank hold. Let's set ourselves up. You're squeezing from those ankles, inner thighs towards your seat. Think about how that seat is a little bit lifted so that you can squeeze your butt, and then pull belly button towards your spine. Shoulders stay right over top of those wrists. We have isometric holds. We don't move in our planks today. It's all holds, finding those squeezes. We're coming down to our forearms here in 5, in 4, good. In 3, forearm plank. In 2, find your forearm plank, and then we'll reset. If you need to modify today, you modify, but I want you to think about where you're squeezing, making it deliberate, and remembering how strong those abs are as you hold there for me. Nice job. You just were in that first position, second position. We really rounded out those legs, and then we got those arms warm. So we're going to come down to the floor to do a little bit more. We're heavy arms and legs today as opposed to just straight ab work. You have 10 seconds left in that forearm plank for me. We are headed into a side plank. They're not my favorite either. I'm only going to make you do them one each side. Side plank here, I want you to walk right hand to that left elbow, and then I want you to open up onto that right side, dominant side to start. Totally fine if knees are down, or you'll have both feet on top of each other or feet staggered, whatever feels good to you. If you're feeling anything in lower back, drop that bottom knee down and just think about really keeping everything stacked. You have 10 seconds right here, and then we're going to come through center. Beautiful. You make sure that shoulder's right underneath of that wrist. In 5, we're going to come through center. In 4, you have it. In 3, make an equal sign. In 2, bringing that opposite arm down so that you can reach up with that right hand. You're on that left side. Finish strong for me right here. I just need 20 seconds from you. I'm going to let you come into a child's pose in a second, which I promise is going to feel so good before we finish out those legs. Big inhale here, big exhale. In 10 seconds, you'll come back through center. You'll find that child's pose. Good morning, Ruby Lou. 5 and 4, good. 3 and 2, come back through center for me. And then find that child's pose. Do not rush the child's pose. I want you to open knees nice and wide right here. As you bring your seat back to your heels, I want you to think of this as an active stretch, reaching your hands forward, inching those fingertips. From here, take a big inhale. I'd love for you to reach that right hand under your left. Feel a little bit of a side body stretch and that stretch in your shoulders. shoulders and lower back. We'll bring that right arm back through center, and then we're gonna bring that left arm underneath. Yes. Just take the breath here. Really nice work. When you're ready, you'll come back through center. I'd like you to meet me in a cat-cow stretch here. If you took your balas off, you can add them back in. If you have weights on the floor, I'm gonna give you the option to use it for the first couple changes, and we're gonna stay in those legs. I just wanna finish out your hamstrings here. I'd like for you to come into an all four to start. If you need to come down onto your forearms, totally fine. You can have balas on. The weight is going to go behind that right leg to start for me. We're starting on our hands, but we're going to come down to our forearms. So if you have that ability, I want you to bring the weight into your left side, and then I want you to flex through your right foot. We go right into that donkey kick here. We lower with control. Actually, come down to your forearms. I've got some back stuff going on with people, wrist stuff, so I won't be mean. Walk down to your forearms and then find that donkey kick. Don't think of it as modified. Just think I wanted to work shoulders a little bit more, but then I'll just give them a break. So we're on our forearms, we're squeezing that seat, and we're going into that donkey kick. You've got options for how you advance this. You can have a bala on your ankle, or you can have that weight in that nice little nook and cranny of that behind that knee. Stay in your donkey kick. It is 3 changes each side right here. It's not long. I'm just finishing out legs and hamstrings. What I want you to think about is squeezing your heel towards your seat. And then as you exhale to lift that knee up to hip height, you're bringing that heel almost like you're squeezing it in at the top. Now, everybody stay at the top on this next one for me. And I just want you to lower down an inch and up an inch. And the way that you're going to lower down an inch and up an inch is by squeezing your heel towards your seat and squeezing center booty. So center booty and hamstring should be nice and warm right here. Keep stamping that ceiling. Do it with control. 8 and 7. Beautiful. 6. We're going to add the full range with 3 pulses in 4 and 3. Good. 2. Final change. Lower that knee down. Exhale. Lift it up for 3. For 2 and for 1. Bring it back down to reset. Exhale. Squeeze your seat. 3 pulses at that bottom. You have it. While you are here, and think about those chests, they're still proud. You're pressing into that mat. We're protecting that lower back by pulling belly button in. Everyone's form looks great. 10 seconds right here before that weight comes out and you bring that knee back down. You are going to hold center for me in 5 and 4. Knees come back down in 3. In 2, bring that knee back down. We're switching sides. There's no break. I want you to stay fatigued here. Bring that weight into that left side. Right dominant side is going to stabilize you here. Bring that weight behind that leg. I need you to go right back into your donkey kicks. 5 minutes of work left in class. Now we've switched sides here. As you're lifting, I want you to think about that reset because I didn't let you go into that cat-cow. Forearms are pressing into that mat. Chest is nice and proud, even though you're looking and facing down. Now, as you squeeze that leg, you're thinking flexed foot, squeeze your seat, you lower down with control, you exhale, you get that leg up there nice and high, knee comes even with that seat. Beautiful. We're going to start pulsing at the top in 4. In 3, start pulsing at the top. In 2, now lift up to the top and just come up an inch and down an inch. Squeeze as tight as you can. You're advanced. You know what you're doing. You know how to really fatigue that muscle. So it's not about just moving your foot or feeling that weight. It's about squeezing from center seat. You're doing great. Give me 5. Give me 4 more. Yep. 3. And 2, put it together on 1. We lower that knee down. You give me 3 pulses at that top. Here we go. We lower that knee down. You exhale. You give me those 3 pulses right at the top of your range. You are breathing through this. Don't start sinking in that right hip. You're going to want to. I want you to keep it even, pressing more into those forearms as opposed to sinking into that hip. You're out of this in 5. Beautiful. 4, knee comes down. In 3, we slide that weight out. In 2, on 1, come into the all four, take that weight out. You're going to tuck your toes under. You're going to find that bear crawl and you're going to meet me on your hands. Meet me on your hands. Bear crawl right here. Now you're going to walk right foot back, left foot back, walk right foot in, walk left foot in. I am finishing out those thighs. Keep your feet hips width distance. They don't want to be narrow in this. So you're going to walk those feet in and in. If you can, walk them into that bear crawl position, walk them right back out. We walk into that bear crawl position. We walk right back out. If it's too much, you can walk me in, and then lift up into your plank. You're here for 5. You rested 4, 3, 2, 1. Find your child's pose again. Beautiful. We're coming onto your back. Last 2 minutes of work will be in those abs to finish them off, and then you'll be out of here. Come onto your backs when you're ready. Take a sip of water if you need it. Balas can stay on if you want that extra challenge, but we're going to come right onto your back, and you're going to hug your knees into your chest for me. Just thanking that body for working so hard and asking it just for that pep talk. Can you hang out with me for 2 more minutes, body? Yes, you can. From here, you're hugging knees into your chest. I want you to lift head, neck, and shoulder. Grab that right knee, extend that left knee, switch, grab left knee, extend that right knee. It's just an extension of each leg, but I want you to think you have 2 options here. If you can hang into that extra challenge, I'd like head, neck, and shoulders lifted, looking over those toes right here, looking over those toes. Beautiful. 8 and 7. Keep pulling legs in. 6, stay center for 5. Good for 4 and 3. Beautiful. 2. Hold that right leg in for me. Left leg is going to lift up towards that ceiling, and then it's going to lower down with control to a hover. We lift that left leg, we lower with control. Can you reach your hands instead of holding on to that knee? They can even go behind your head if you need that added support for 3. Beautiful. Lift for 2. Good. Give me 1 more lift, and then we lower back to a hover. You go back to your switches. Left knee here and right knee. Beautiful. Left knee here and right knee. Good. We're going to hold that left knee in 3, in 2. Left knee comes in. We lift right leg up to the ceiling. We lower down with control. It's like a stretch. I'm building into your abs today. Beautiful. Can you reach your hands instead of holding on to that knee? Hands can come behind your head for 3. Beautiful. For 2, bring that knee back down. Both legs come into tabletop. Back to your bicycles. Twist, twist. Good. Twist and twist. Find those bicycles. Beautiful. Keep twisting. Hold on to it. We come center here in 3. Hold center in 2. Hold center at 1. Now reach your hands towards your ankles, that suitcase. So you're going to reach everything in opposition. Arms out, legs out. Reach back towards your ankles. If it's too much, go into your crunch. I'm fine with it. Keep legs at tabletop. Protect that neck. That's also great. 10 seconds right here. Full extension, and then reach towards those ankles. 5 and 4. Perfect. 3 and 2. On 1, you rest. Bring knees into your chest. Take the big inhale. Rock from side to side. You made it. You made it. Light on those abs because we really came for those legs today. Take the big inhale. Take that big exhale. When you're ready, you're going to roll yourself up to the top. I'm just going to go right through till we cut off. Once you're at the top, sit Indian style here for me. Reach those hands up overhead. Find that length. Find that high reach up towards that ceiling. Take 1 more big inhale. Bring palms together. And then as you exhale, bringing them down to center heart. Thanking body for working so hard today. You made it. Really nice work. Thanks for hanging with some traditional